The scream came at 2:17 a.m. It was a raw, bone-deep sound that didn't just echo. It vibrated through the narrow alley off Mercer Street. The night was thick with fog, clinging to the street lamps and asphalt as if trying to hide what was about to be found. Officer Lena Ramirez was only 2 blocks away when the call came over the dispatcher. She was out of her cruiser before it even fully stopped, her boots hitting the rain-slicked pavement. The alley's neon sign flickered, as if the light itself was afraid to illuminate what lay in its path. The body was sprawled between 2 dented dumpsters, limbs twisted at unnatural angles, eyes frozen wide in a final, horrifying gaze. Blood crawled in thin rivers across the concrete, pooling under the unforgiving glow of the street lamp. In the victim's hand, clenched tight, a smartphone was still glowing. Its cracked screen showed a single missed call, unknown, 2:16 a.m. 1 minute before she died. Lena swallowed hard. She'd seen death before, but something about this scene made the hair on her neck stand up. This wasn't sloppy, this wasn't impulsive. This was orchestrated. Detective Nathan Hale arrived just minutes later, his coat soaked through, his face a mask of tension and sleeplessness. He crouched beside the body, his eyes narrowed not with disgust, but with the gears already turning in his mind. "This wasn't a robbery," he muttered. "She still has her jewelry, phone's here. No signs of a struggle outside the alley. She either knew the killer or trusted them enough to let them get close." Lena pointed at the phone. Incoming call less than a minute before she died. Hale's jaw tightened. That's not a coincidence. The forensic team zipped the body into a black bag and the alley fell silent once more. Her name was Jessica Kline, 29 years old. A bartender at a Mercer Street dive called the Black Lantern. She lived in a small apartment 3 blocks from where she died. No criminal record, a few friends, a recent boyfriend, nothing that pointed to a fate like this. But the story was only just beginning. Jessica's apartment was spotless too spotless. It was the kind of clean that screamed of wiping away evidence, not just tidying up. Her phone records showed several blocked calls in the past 2 weeks, all from the same private number. Her social media messages were filled with eerie, anonymous warnings. "You shouldn't be out late. I see you. You're not listening." Her friends had dismissed them as online trolls. Jessica had even joked about having a secret admirer with stalking tendencies. But the messages were escalating, becoming more pointed. And then suddenly they stopped. The night she died, there were none. Hale stood in her dark apartment, listening to the hum of the refrigerator. He ran a finger along the kitchen counter. No dust. No streaks. Just the sterile quiet of a place where life had been scrubbed away. "Someone was here," he said quietly. "Not just tonight, recently." A tiny smear of blood, almost invisible, marked the doorknob. Forensics confirmed it wasn't Jessica's. This wasn't a random killing. It was calculated, controlled, and whoever did this had been inside her life long enough to erase their trail. CCTV footage showed Jessica leaving work at 1:52 a.m. The rain had turned the streets into reflective, empty mirrors. A dark figure trailed her, just far enough away to seem innocent, just close enough to ensure she didn't leave his sight. The footage only caught glimpses. A hood, a tall build, a gloved hand. No face. But one detail stood out. An old white van with a faded logistics company logo on the side. It passed Jessica twice. Company records later showed the van shouldn't have been anywhere near Mercer Street that night. Its driver was unaccounted for. Hale's instincts surged. It wasn't proof, but it wasn't nothing. Jessica's co-workers described her as warm, private, and always willing to take the late shifts. She had recently been dating a man named Aaron Pierce, soft-spoken, intelligent, and, according to everyone, a bit too intense. He worked in software development, often disappearing into long nights of coding. When questioned, Aaron seemed devastated, though his grief felt rehearsed. He wrung his hands, spoke softly, and never once asked how Jessica died, only if she had suffered. "You said she got threats?" Hale asked. Aaron nodded. "She told me they were probably nothing. She didn't want to worry anyone. Do you know who might have sent them?" Aaron's eyes darted to the floor for just a second too long. No. His alibi working from home was plausible, but couldn't be verified. His building's CCTV was conveniently under maintenance. His neighbors heard him typing late at night, but no one saw him during the time of Jessica's death. It wasn't damning, but it didn't clear him either. The autopsy revealed a chilling detail. Jessica had been dosed with a rare veterinary sedative. It was potent, hard to get, and fast-acting. Not enough to knock her out, but enough to slow her reflexes and make her vulnerable. The bottle found beside her body? It was planted, wiped clean of fingerprints. Her killer was trying to create a narrative to make it look like she'd been drinking heavily. She hadn't. 2 days later, Holly got a call from dispatch. The white van had been found, abandoned in a warehouse district near the docks. Inside, the air was stale with the smell of chemicals. A tarp covered the floor, faintly stained. A pair of latex gloves lay discarded next to a syringe. Forensics confirmed the syringe matched the sedative in Jessica's blood. The van was the murder scene. But the killer had wiped it almost perfectly clean, except for one thing. A single smudged fingerprint on the edge of the rear door. Not enough to identify someone, but enough to hint at either carelessness or confidence. Meanwhile, Lena found something unsettling in Jessica's old messages. Weeks before she died, she had been trying to block someone from her contacts list. The name was deleted, but fragments remained in her cloud backup. AP, a phone number missing the last digit. Aaron Pierce. When Holly confronted him again, Aaron's calm facade began to crack. "I didn't threaten her," he insisted, his hands trembling. "We argued. Yes. She wanted space. And I didn't handle that well." "What kind of space?" Holly pressed. Aaron hesitated. "She said I was too controlling. That I was calling too much." "How many times?" Aaron swallowed. 20. "Maybe 30 times a day?" Holly stared at him. "That's not affection. That's obsession." Aaron's face twisted with a mix of anger and fear. "She didn't understand. I was trying to protect her." "From who?" Aaron's reply was a whisper. "From him." Hale's pulse quickened. "Who is him?" Aaron shook his head, tears welling in his eyes. I can't say. He said he'd come after me too." The room felt like it was shrinking. "Aaron, who threatened you?" But Aaron shut down completely, his shoulders hunched, his eyes empty. "He watches, he listens. I won't be next." The case twisted again. Aaron might have been obsessive and unstable, but was he a killer? The level of planning didn't seem to fit his fragile state. But then again, fragile men have done monstrous things. Holly revisited the CCTV from the bar. Something had been bothering him. A reflection, small but clear, caught in the window of a parked car. A second figure trailing Jessica. This one was shorter, stockier. There were two shadows, not one. And only one appeared in the main camera angle. Someone had tampered with the footage. Not to erase themselves completely, but just enough to hide that Jessica was being followed by more than one person. Lena's breakthrough came from an unexpected place. Reviewing months-old footage from the Black Lantern, she noticed a man sitting alone in the corner booth nearly every night Jessica worked. Always the same chair. Always the same drink of whiskey untouched. His face was blurry in most clips, but in one frame, a flash of lightning illuminated him perfectly. A sharp jawline, narrow eyes, a small scar above his left eyebrow. Hale felt his stomach drop. It was the same face he'd seen in the reflection near Jessica on the night she died. He wasn't a coworker. He wasn't a regular, he was a ghost. One evening, as Hale and Ramirez were driving, Hale's phone buzzed, a blocked number. "Detective Hale," a distorted voice replied. "You're getting close." Hale stiffened. "Who is this?" "You should stop digging. What do you want?" A long silence. Then, "I want you to understand what she did." The line went dead. The call was untraceable, masked through a web of rerouted servers. This person wasn't improvising. He was calculating, watching. Then the final pieces fell into place. Jessica's bank records showed she withdrawn $4,000 in cash 2 days before her death. The money was gone. Lena found an old restraining order in Jessica's archived files, never filed but drafted. The name on it was smudged, but not enough to hide the truth. Logan Pierce, Aaron's older brother. A former military contractor specialized in surveillance. A history of violent outbursts. Last known address, a rundown property near the docks. And the scar above his eyebrow, military records confirmed it. Logan wasn't protecting Jessica. He was stalking her, intercepting her calls, erasing her messages, watching her every move, and Aaron. He wasn't the threat. He was another victim, terrified, manipulated, and controlled by a brother he couldn't escape. Logan had created the entire illusion. The anonymous messages, the unknown calls, the tampered CCTV, the planted bottle, the van. A perfect maze of red herrings. But why kill her? Aaron, trembling in the interrogation room, finally gave them the answer. He told me she knew too much. She found the mic. She confronted him. He said she wasn't going to ruin everything. Hale and Lena found Logan's hideout at dawn. Inside the silent warehouse, the walls were lined with hundreds of photos of Jessica. A shrine of obsession. In the corner, a laptop was still on, open to a live feed of the alley where she died. Logan had been watching the investigation all along. But Logan himself was gone. He had vanished without a trace, a ghost once more. Hale knew that men like Logan don't just stop. They relocate. They restart. They find new victims. Jessica was not the first. And she would not be the last. But her story was the one that exposed him. Her murder revealed a chilling truth. Some killers don't lurk in the shadows. They build them, they live inside them. And they learn how to make sure no one ever sees their face. Logan Pierce became a phantom suspect, a case study in obsession. Jessica never got justice in the traditional sense. But her case became a cautionary tale, a symbol of how persistence can break the silence. And every year, on the anniversary of her death, someone leaves a single white rose in the alley on Mercer Street. No one knows who. No camera ever catches them. But Hale suspects it's Aaron alive, healing and finally free. Eldridge City moved on, but the alley never forgot. The fog never lifted the same way again. And the final echo of Jessica's last call still lingers. A whisper in the corners of a city forever marked by the truth that sometimes the monster isn't a stranger in the dark. Sometimes it's the person who's been watching you all along. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories like this to light. We'll see you in the next one.